When most of us picture retirement, we imagine slowing down, traveling a little, and spending more time with the people we love. But for many families, one big question comes up again and again. How do I make sure I don't outlive my money? And to help us answer that today is Burt McClintock with Strategic Financial Solutions. Burt, thanks so much for speaking with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. So how can people make sure they're not outliving their retirement money?
Yeah, it's a very common question, probably the biggest concern that we hear of. And oftentimes we start with identifying what are your fixed expenses that you really need to have to maintain your lifestyle. And then you lead into what are some of those discretionary fun money types of things that you really want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And so it's one of the big things is, it's not about that big number that you're hoping to save,
Yeah, if you start breaking down where the different sources of income that people tend to live on retirement, I'd say 25 to 40% of people's income usually comes from Social Security. And then the remainder, usually mostly weighted to 401k plans, 403b plans, maybe if you're lucky enough to have a retirement pension program. And then the remaining, I'll say 25 to 40% tends to come from after-tax savings that people have accumulated.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And Burt, I know a common pitfall can be treating your savings like it's a checking account, right?
Yeah, and I'd say that comes back to having a plan, right? I'd say nobody likes the word budget.
Scary.
Yeah, it's scary. You're going to tell me what I can and can't spend money on. But if you have a spending plan, that tends to be much more favorable. And it's really just having awareness of where do you want your money to go, and then are you truly able to follow what you've outlined from that spending plan?
No, absolutely. And I know another big thing is you want to have a plan. So.
Yeah, and I'd say it goes twofold. Sometimes we see people come in to meet with us and work through their financial plan, and they're in their early to mid 60s, and they probably could have retired 5 to 10 years earlier had they went through the planning process. But because of that fear of running out of money is so strong, people tend to say, well, I'd rather work a couple more years and make sure that I have enough, when in reality they probably could have retired a couple years early, enjoyed that family time, that travel time sooner than they even realized. So I'd say it goes both ways. Just make sure that you're deliberate in having those conversations and working through the process.
Yeah, absolutely. Burt McClintock with Strategic Financial Solutions. Burt, thanks so much for speaking with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me again.
Of course.